Hello, everybody. Clay here, Cardboard Empires. Today, we have a topic that's a little toxic in the world of Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, really all TCGs in general. And it could even be applied to all collectibles, but let's focus on TCGs, and that is market manipulation. Now, I realize the fact that I'm even talking about this, that I'm even daring to broach this subject in public, might not win me a lot of favors with a lot of people. So a lot of people, for some reason, this topic should be left quiet and hidden. It shouldn't be discussed in polite company. And I understand that viewpoint as well. Why talk about something unless you want to perpetuate its existence? And I don't want to perpetuate market manipulation, but I do think it bears talking about so that people can be educated on what's really going on when you see card prices spike out of nowhere for no good reason. And market manipulation can be done in many, many different ways. It could be something as simple as, hey, I'm a retailer and I have a lot of Shining Fates product that I want to start selling. So I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to make a video about market manipulation, or I'm going to make a video about how I love Saturdays. And in the background, I'm just going to have this product right here. I'm never going to talk about it. I'm never going to acknowledge its existence. But it's just going to be sitting there because this is my set, right? This is where I record my videos, so I just like to make it look nice and pretty. That's not always the case. Sometimes people who make videos do things like this because they're trying to sell product. Anybody want to buy a dented Shining Fates box? The way I'm specifically talking about today is TCG Player, and it's not going to be the other ways like Logan Paul, obviously a big example of market manipulation, where he makes a video, goes out to millions of people, and then the entire card market grows overnight. That's obvious manipulation. Even the videos where people put stuff in the background and they're trying to sell it to you, that's obvious in a way. If you know what to look for, you can spot it. I'm talking about the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And I picked a specific card that I wanted to talk about today that I think could be manipulated by somebody who wanted to manipulate this specific card. Now, I don't own any of this card, and I want to make that very clear right off the bat. So if somebody watches this video and is like, hey, he's right, that card can be manipulated, I'm going to make $1 million cajillion off that one card, I'm going to buy out the market. I don't own any of it, so I'm not going to benefit from a price swing one way or the other. I don't care. Do what you want with the information. The market manipulation that I'm talking about happens on TCG Player, and it can happen on websites like Channel Fireball and other websites of the like that feature like up-to-date market information. They have buy lists, and they have multiple different vendors selling the same card at different prices. Mini marketplaces. It can happen on eBay, but it's a little less effective. It's easier to get drowned out on eBay. So if people who are trying to target and manipulate a specific card are going to go to these specific channels, no pun intended, in order to do their manipulation. So let's see how this would work. And to do that, I picked this card on TCG Player, and I'll tell you why I picked the card that I picked and why I think that this is a good candidate for some sort of weird manipulation to happen. It's this light Wigglytuff from Neo Destiny. Now, why this specific card? Is this a great card? No, not really. I mean, there's really nothing that makes it stand out from any other card. But when people are looking to manipulate the market, they're looking for a specific set of factors. And that would be, first of all, to look in the near mint filter and see something like this. The first thing that stands out is this. There's only 2 pages of this card in near mint condition. And that's great because that means it's not going to take a lot for somebody to move the market. The other really big factor is that the way the card is priced, there's many different tiers to how the card is priced. So the card starts being priced low at $278. And then there's another one at 298, 325, 360, and then it jumps to 599 and you got 795. So for somebody to effectively move the price of the near mint condition of this card from a low of 278, which would pull its average down, I'm just going to throw out a number here. The average right now is probably somewhere around $4. So that's market data that people use when they're pricing this card. The average price of it selling on TCG Player is somewhere around $4. For somebody to effectively move that average up, all they would need to do is clear out these 4 cards. And now you've moved the average price of that card up to like $5, $6. You've spiked the average price of that card significantly. But this is only for near mint. If somebody were to try and actually manipulate the overall price of this card, they would go through and buy out these 50-cent damaged copies. They would go through and buy out all the very lowest prices to get the entire card value to rise. And that would be seen by most people. Just moving the price of the near mint copy of the card isn't going to have a massive effect on the average price of the card in general, overall, across all conditions. But buying out the damaged, buying out the heavily played, buying out the light played, this in all conditions has 4 pages. If you were to go through and buy the first 2 pages of this card, leaving only the cards on the 3rd page, look at the lowest price of the card on the 3rd page. So now you're moving that average up probably twice as much as it is now. And the median price on TCG normal is $325. If you were to do what I'm talking about right now, you would probably move that median price up to somewhere around $5. Significant jump. And now we have to ask, why would somebody do that, right? How is this beneficial? Well, it's incredibly beneficial because people use TCG Player to justify their eBay listing prices. So if I'm going on eBay and I'm looking for a card and I see a light wiggly tough being sold for $7 in near mint condition, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to TCG Player and I'm going to see how much I could buy that card for on TCG Player in that condition. Well, as it stands right now, I could go on TCG Player and buy that same card in near mint condition for $3 to $4. Not the case if somebody comes through and wipes out those listings, moving the price of the card up. So that's how people manipulate the prices of single cards. Now let's talk about, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing, or how, am I indifferent on it? How does this affect the market overall? Well, just like scalpers, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you've probably seen my hot scalpers take. I don't have a huge problem with scalpers just because that's the retail model in general, as far as I'm concerned. Philosophically speaking, of course, this is the retail model. Unless you're a manufacturer, unless you're a guy out in his wood shop making dressers out of planks of wood, you're a scalper. Unless you're making something and then selling it, if you're just buying something that's already been made here and selling it to person here at a higher price than you bought it here, then you're a scalper. That's the retail model. I do understand, and I completely, before people get on my back, I get it. There are short-sighted people both manipulating and scalping in the TCG market right now that are negatively affecting the hobby as a whole, impacting people's lives in a negative way. And to that, I just have to say, you got to let those people go. You got to let them do their thing. They'll flame out, okay? Because those people, they're not going to succeed in the long run. People who are incredibly short-sighted like that just aren't going to win. They might hit a flyer or two. They might make $100 here, $1,000 there. But in the long run, it's going to be way too much work and not enough money. The scalpers are going to give up eventually. The people who are trying to just gouge and stick the knife in and turn it, they're not going to be able to keep that up forever because people aren't going to keep paying like exorbitant prices for a product that doesn't really deserve those prices. And somebody goes to Walmart and buys a box for $20 and sells it on eBay for $30, and woohoo, I just made, after after fees and whatnot, I just made $1 or $2. How long do you think somebody's going to be able to keep that up? Honestly, how long? It's not going to last forever. We got to let those people go. Don't let those people ruin your hobby, your business, what you think is fun. And just keep your eyes, on the long run. Keep your eyes on the prize. See the forest through the trees is basically my main philosophy when it comes to business and life in general. Back to market manipulation. And the reason why I don't have a necessarily hard stance on this one way or the other is because we are all market manipulators. I'm sorry to tell you this, but we are all engaged in this practice. Now, we might not be into it as much as the people I've heard about on Facebook or the Discord groups, I guess, that people get into, and they pool their resources and target specific carts to make them pop crazy in price and then sell out. I've heard about these things. I don't know about them firsthand. Obviously, those people are malicious. They're doing a bad thing. They know they're doing a bad thing. They're trying to hurt people, and that's bad. But if you buy, let's say you have this Pikachu V. Like I have this Pikachu V. God, that's a beautiful looking card. Look at his little lightning bolts coming out of his cheeks glowing. That's so cool. So I have this Pikachu V, and I want to sell it on eBay. And so I look at the last sold listings to get an idea of what the current market price is. And the last sold listings is $5. I have no idea what the real thing is, but let's say it's $5 for this Pikachu V. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to try and sell it for $5.50. And the next person's going to come after me and try and sell it for $6. And maybe he gets it, maybe he doesn't, but that's a form of market manipulation. It's not malicious, but and not to sound not to think of myself so highly that I need to explain capitalism to you, but it's a fact of the capitalistic market. Sellers are here to try and get as much money possible as they can for a product, and buyers are there to try and buy it for as low prices as possible. And it's the sellers and the buyers' job to meet somewhere in the middle to establish market price. And so the sellers are going to constantly be trying to creep the price up, and the buyers are going to be constantly trying to pull the price back. And that's how it works. So this is why I don't, necessarily get down on the market manipulation thing. But there are some people who are doing it more egregiously than others. A lot of really big YouTube channels, a lot of big content creators are, engage in things like I said, where they put the boxes in the background or, do targeted buyouts. And the targeted buyouts thing is another kind of an interesting topic because it's not guaranteed to work. It's a risk. Just because you've decided to move the price of a card up doesn't mean anybody's going to want to buy it. So that's another thing to think about when it comes to targeted buyouts and market manipulation. It doesn't have to work. So, these are my thoughts on market manipulation. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. I get it. This is a toxic, scummy topic to talk about, and a lot of people would just rather kind of leave it hidden, leave it behind closed doors and not discuss it. But sunlight, as they say, is the best disinfectant. So I thought I would shed some sunlight on this topic. If you've made it this far in the video, that's incredible. Thanks for watching. Consider hitting the subscribe button. Consider hitting the like button. It really helps out the channel. It gives me the motivation that I need to keep making videos because this machine right here, it runs on motivation. So keep fueling the machine, baby. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you later.